good evening. I'm glad to be here today, and I'm happy to talk to you. And I think Luz Marie is going to have some questions for me. So why don't we get started?
Wonderful. Well, hello, everyone. I am Luz Maria Hernandez, and I'm going to ask the Dean some questions today. And one of the questions that we get on a regular basis is, why should I consider UArizona Arcane College of Pharmacy for my undergraduate degree?
So there's actually many reasons why this is the case. And first of all, Arizona is a top-ranked research university, and that's really important. Also, we rank number 5th in the country in pharmacy schools, so that's really a good reason. We also partner with our partners with the health sciences colleges to make sure the BSPS major is unique and versatile for what you might want to do. And there's a variety of different things that I think the BSPS program will give you a good place to start and then move to jump into pharmacy and medicine and biotech, etc.
Wonderful. Thank you for that answer. So the next question is, are there funding scholarships opportunities available for students at the Kent Coit College of Pharmacy?
Yes, there are. And so underneath the undergrad category, BSPS, we have merit scholarships, and then we also have Pell Grants and support through the Office of Financial Aid. If we're thinking about the PharmD program, we have also Coit mission scholarships, as well as opportunities in scholarship universe once into the PharmD program. I'm happy to say that last year the college gave more than $500,000 in scholarships. So that I think is pretty good. The graduate school is a little bit different because in graduate school, at least in the PhD programs, believe it or not, it's free. So that's a great opportunity if you want to go down that road, and that includes tuition is being paid, there's a stipend, and you also get health insurance. So yes, there's a lot of opportunities there too.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that wonderful answer. There is always funding available for our amazing students. Now, next question would be, what career opportunities are there for students that graduate from this college?
Well, they just sort of told you in just a few seconds ago, but by accident. But anyway, let's talk about it again. So, again, we have the BSPS program, and this opens the doors really to careers. And it's not only careers in pharmacy, but also medicine, biotechnology, research and development, and other professional health careers. So that's I think that's a really great opportunity to set you up for the next part of your education. Then again, we also have master's programs if you are interested in that. We have the PhD programs, which is a research degree, and we do that. The PharmD program, though, is amazing because the fact is that we can train you to be a pharmacist, and what we hope you do also is take something more from us and as another dual degree program or something like an MBA or a residency, or there's lots of different things, but I hope you would take advantage of that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. One other question is, what is the difference between the Tucson and Phoenix campuses? You know what? We'll skip that one because we're going to talk about that in just a bit. The next one would be, what is your role as the Dean of the Kent Coit College of Pharmacy? What do you do?
So I'm responsible for everything that happens in the pharmacy school. So at first and foremost, it's important that I support the students in all the different programs and making sure they're getting a good education. I have to support the faculty, not only in their teaching, but in research initiatives. And I oversee academic and other research programs. And in the end, I'm responsibility for the financial aspect of the college.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think you covered a lot of the answers of these questions that I have in 1 or 2 or 3 questions. So thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next thing, unless there's any specific student or prospective student that has a question for our dean. Feel free to ask away. Any questions? Here is one question that says, hello, thank you for having us. I have a question. Would the school ever think of having 3-year PharmD program?
We actually have talked about that, but maybe there's several reasons, but there is a reason why we haven't done that, and that is because during the summers, during the 4-year program, these are the opportunities for the students to either take extra classes, to take different type of internships, and things like that. So we think that's important, that you have the time and work different in pharmacies during the summer as well. And so I think that's the reason why we haven't really moved it.
Another question for our dean. What program is free?
It's the PhD program is free. And I know this is the best deal out there. And so after you finish the BSPS or a master's degree or the PharmD degree, you can get a PhD, which is a research degree. And in a lot of the medical sciences, and we're certainly in that class in pharmacy, is that to do research, they actually give a stipend, which is, I think it's around $30,000 to live on. Tuition is free, and you get free insurance. So when I was getting my PhD, I never thought I could get a better deal, and I still haven't found a better deal.
Well, thank you so much. One other question that we have in the chat, which probably one of our amazing advisors can take on, is what are the requirements for the Doctor of Pharmacy program?
I'll ask for clarification. Are you asking what the admission requirements are, or the requirements for completing the PharmD program? Admission. Okay, Lauren, that's a big question. I'm going to put some links in the chat that outline the prerequisites for entry into the program. It's in a nutshell, it's a specific set of courses that we call our prerequisites, plus also great experience and a good fit with the field, but I will put that in the chat for you right now, okay? And then it'll come up again later. You're gonna have plenty of chances to talk with folks about admission later on in the session.
Thank you all. And thank you so much, Dean Schnellman, for joining us and being available to answer questions, not only ones that we had already prepared for you, but also these, our prospective students that have joined us today. So thank you so much. We are going to move on to the next session. And that is where our amazing assistant dean from our Tucson campus and then our associate dean from our Phoenix campus are going to share some things about our campuses.
Thank you, Luz Maria. So I'm going to invite Dr. Nancy Alvarez here in a little bit, but I do want to first let you know that at the Arkan Coit College of Pharmacy, we are one college with 2 campus locations in Phoenix and Tucson. So we use modern classroom, video conferencing technology to simultaneously deliver courses to both campuses, which means that either you're in the Tucson or the Phoenix campus, you will be receiving the same almost equivalent materials during the lectures and learning sessions. So students in both locations have interactions with professors and with each other, which is also an advantage. There are instructors on both sites for most courses so that they can answer students' questions and also facilitate and guide learning activities. The college expanded the PharmD program to the Phoenix campus in 2014. So the headquarters is here in Tucson. When we first began the program on the Phoenix campus, we had 3 students. We started with 3 students and we have since really grown. And we now welcome a total of 140 first-year PharmD students every fall across the 2 campuses. So at this time, I'm going to invite Dr. Alvarez, our Associate Dean of Phoenix campus, to give you her welcome. And then she'll also tell you a little bit more about the Phoenix campus.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nancy Alvarez, and I am here in Phoenix. I'm situated on the Phoenix Bioscience Core campus in vibrant and centrally located downtown Phoenix. And we are the 5th largest city in the nation where students commute to campus and mix and mingle with health profession students from Arizona State University, Northern Arizona University, and the U of A. Students have access to an array of intern opportunities, employment opportunities at local community pharmacies and health systems, including Banner University Medical Center, Phoenix. Students are also exposed to a variety of leadership opportunities through the college, on our campus, and throughout the Phoenix metro area, and can serve the community through educational and community outreach programs, which help to foster being a healthcare professional, working interprofessionally with other health professions, and providing service to our communities. Our students have been instrumental in delivering vaccines to those who wish to receive them in partnership with our College of Public Health as one example. We also are planning towards working with the city of Phoenix to provide health screenings at the local farmers market that happens here on the PBC every Saturday. Furthermore, students enjoy access to professional sports games, shop and dine in the Roosevelt Art District. There's the opportunity to learn about Phoenix's past, present, and future at Heritage and Science Park. There's a lot of culture that can be experienced at the Orpheum Theater. There is accessibility using the light rail and the main bus terminal, which isn't too far. And one of the great things, I think, is the fact that the airport, Phoenix Sky Harbor, is only 10 miles away, or 10 minutes, actually 10 minutes, not 10 miles, 10 minutes from the campus. So with that, I hope that gives you an idea of where we are and what we have to offer. And I will turn it back over to Dr. Lee so she can share with you what to expect in Tucson.
Thank you, Dr. Alvarez. So students at the UA Health Sciences Tucson campus, we benefit from the close proximity of fellow colleges, including the U Arizona College of Medicine, Tucson, College of Nursing, and College of Public Health. On the main campus, we also have nutritional sciences as well as audiology. The Arizona Health Sciences Library, the Health Sciences Innovations Building, and Banner University Medical Center are also within a short walk from our college. Numerous educational and community outreach programs help to foster a culture of professionalism and interprofessional collaboration and service. So our students, as well as faculty and staff, really collaborate well within the health sciences campus and also across the campus with people on the main campus too. The students are exposed to a variety of leadership opportunities through the college and health sciences and at the U Arizona main campus, as well as throughout the Tucson community and beyond. So lots and lots of opportunities. Named one of the 5 top cities for millennials by the Money magazine and home to the University of Arizona, Tucson provides many amenities of a large city, but with a small town feel. So those of us who are in Tucson really love that small town feel about that, and kind of that family environment that Tucson provides for us. Tucson is the only US city with its best 23 miles of Mexican food, which is delicious. So you can enjoy diverse culture and rich heritage within Tucson and Southern Arizona. There are many other ethnic restaurants in the Tucson area. And because I am a foodie, I can tell you my favorite places if you come to our campus to visit us or if you join our program. Tucson is also one of the most bike-friendly cities in America. And we're surrounded by beautiful Sonoran Desert hiking trails and Mount Lemmon, which peaks at over 9,000 feet. And there's snow up there right now as we speak. So with that, I'll turn it back to Dr. Alvarez.
Thank you. So in essence, for our undergraduate programs, you start in Tucson, and then you have a choice between staying in Tucson for our PharmD programs or coming back north up to Phoenix. One thing I can say for sure is that the Arkan Coit College of Pharmacy is a leader amongst schools and colleges of pharmacy. I'm a graduate of the College of Pharmacy, and I have great pride in knowing that we are a top school. We were a top school when I went to school many years ago, and we continue to be a top school. And the range of innovation and inclusive programs educating and training pharmacists in pharmaceutical sciences to improve health and well-being for all people, for local, national, and international communities gives me great pride. So with that, Dr. Lee, we'll open it up.
Thank you. So next is our BSPS presentation. So I'll go ahead and invite Rebecca.
If you can unshare the screen so that I can share mine. And also someone put a question in the chat about the PCAT. Dr. Lee, would you like to, or Dr. Cates, anyone would like to give updates about the PCAT while I share my screen?
Sure. So our program, we no longer require PCAT, and PCAT in general is actually going away, to be honest. So it's not just an advantage of our program, but PCAT in general have been found to be not as useful for pharmacy admissions, as well as it could create bias. And so we think this is the right move. And for someone who's taken PCAT 3 times in order to join a PharmD program, and it wasn't even the 5th ranked University of Arizona, I think this is a good, positive thing for you all who wish to apply.
All right, thank you for that, Dr. Lee. And can I get a thumbs up on being able to see my screen, see my presentation? All right, excellent. So thank you for joining us. My name is Rebecca Field, and I'm the Director of Undergraduate Student Services in the Arkan Coit College of Pharmacy. So I'm delighted to see you all here this evening. I know this was already mentioned, but I just can't resist bragging yet again. The College of Pharmacy is currently ranked number 5 of 144 pharmacy schools in the country and number 6 in regard to NIH research funding. So whether you're interested in a career in research or a career in healthcare, this is a really exciting time to be part of the College of Pharmacy. So let's talk academics. College of Pharmacy offers a variety of degrees. And I will admit that the college is probably best known for offering the PharmD, or Doctor of Pharmacy degree. That's the 4-year professional degree that students need to earn in order to become licensed pharmacists. And you will hear a lot more about the PharmD in the next sessions. But here's the thing, students can't just come straight out of high school and jump directly into a PharmD program. Everyone needs to start by completing a specific set of undergraduate courses prior to applying to pharmacy school. And you have many options for where you complete your undergraduate studies. So in this session, we're going to talk about what we believe is the ideal preparation for pharmacy school, in addition to being an outstanding preparation for a bunch of other career pathways as well. And that's the Bachelor of Science in Pharmaceutical Sciences, which we lovingly call the BSPS. So what is pharmaceutical sciences? I'm going to start by saying what it's not. Pharmaceutical sciences is not the same thing as pre-pharmacy. This degree does not qualify graduates to work as pharmacists, and not every student in this major wants to be a pharmacist. Pharmaceutical sciences is its own academic discipline. It's an interdisciplinary field that brings together chemistry, biology, and physiology for the purpose of developing better and more effective drugs. We look at what happens when physiology and chemistry collide, and we use that knowledge to improve health outcomes. The BSPS is a traditional 4-year bachelor's degree, and it is offered exclusively on our Tucson campus, just to be clear about that. So the first 2 years of the degree are spent taking introductory science courses. You're really focusing on chemistry, biology, physiology, and those are pretty much the exact same courses that you need for pharmacy school admission as well. Then the second 2 years of the program, you really get to delve into the more specialized pharmaceutical sciences courses. Things like pharmacology, medicinal chemistry, pharmacogenomics, drug design. So these are the courses that allow you to move beyond the basic science and really gain an understanding of how drugs work in the body, how new drugs are created, and ways to improve health outcomes. And these courses also show you how all of that chemistry and biology and physiology that you learned in your freshman and sophomore year can actually be used in the real world. So that's exciting. I'm also delighted to report that we've been rolling out a bunch of new classes recently. In the last few semesters alone, we've added some more these particular courses that are really allowing students to sort of pick and choose what they want to focus on based on their personal and professional interests. So we've added new courses like infectious disease pharmacology, pharmacology of sex, over-the-counter drug information. So we're really excited about these new courses, and students are very excited about them as well. So what can you do with a pharm sci major? A lot. The pharm sci major can prepare you for a variety of careers, but most of our students tend to fall into one of these two kind of broad umbrella categories. On one side, we've got careers in research, biotechnology, drug discovery, and drug development, and then we also have careers in clinical healthcare. So on the research side of things, this would be the pathway for students who want to make improvements in healthcare by studying the science behind the drugs. And pharm sci researchers may work in academia, at pharmaceutical or biotech companies, at government agencies like the FDA or the CDC or the EPA. And if you are interested in research, we have great training opportunities for you here in the College of Pharmacy. Our faculty are doing amazing research, and they invite undergraduates to join their labs. Then on the clinical side of things, this major provides outstanding preparation for students who want to become healthcare practitioners. So that may include going to pharmacy school or medical school, PA school, dental school. If you're going to be a healthcare provider, you need to understand how medications work and what medications are currently out there. So this major gives you a jump start on learning that information. And it also includes pretty much all the courses that you need in order to apply to those advanced professional programs. So the major opens up a lot of opportunities, and you aren't limited to just health professions or research, although that is where a lot of the opportunities lie. But the major also serves as a springboard for more unique pathways like pharmaceutical law, regulatory affairs, pharmaceutical sales, or really specialized unique graduate programs. So I will say one more thing about career options. I know I've already said several times that this major isn't only for students who want to become pharmacists, but we know that is a common area of interest. So I'll say a few words specifically about the pharmacy pathway. So for those of you who are interested in pursuing pharmacy as a career, I do want to be clear that most PharmD programs, U of A included, don't require completion of a bachelor's degree prior to starting the PharmD. Pharmacy schools require completion of a specific set of undergraduate courses called the prerequisites, but don't necessarily require a full bachelor's degree. That being said, many students do choose to complete a BS prior to pharmacy school for a variety of reasons. Those might include keeping options open, having more time to explore, having a backup plan, or just allowing yourself a more traditional undergraduate experience with time to get involved in research, study abroad, campus activities, all that good stuff. But one of the primary reasons why students choose to do a BS before pharmacy school is having more time to prepare. Pharmacy school is undeniably hard, and the courses in the BSPS major introduce topics in a lower stakes environment that will come up again at a far more advanced level in the PharmD program, giving you an advantage once you're actually in your PharmD courses. So if you are interested in pharmacy school and you do want a bachelor's degree before getting there, there's a huge value in choosing the BS in pharmaceutical sciences. And students who complete the BS in Pharm Sci are looked upon really favorably by our admissions committee as well. So that was my big overview of the major, but I now want to give you time to hear from faculty who actually teach in our program. So Dr. Jennifer Schnellman is an associate professor with a dual appointment in the College of Pharmacy and the College of Medicine. And she teaches, I believe, currently 6 classes in our undergraduate program. More are coming, which just blows my mind. And then Dr. Valancourt is the associate department head of our pharmacology and toxicology department and the director of undergraduate studies. And 4 of his courses are available to undergrads. So I'm going to go ahead and unshare so that Dr. Schnellman can put her slides up. And they are going to share some more details about this program, what you're going to learn and what you can do with it.
I just want to be sure you're seeing what I'm sharing. Am I sharing the right thing? Do you see acetaminophen?
You are good to go.
Okay, good. I never know. All right, fantastic. So welcome to Open House. I'm going to share this presentation with Dr. Valancourt. So I'm going to kick off with 2 slides and he's going to pick up, then I'm going to finish. So we're going to focus on the major of interest offered by our college and showcase the features of this major and why it is, in my opinion, superior training for any healthcare or medical or scientific field. I want to show you our major through the lens of how we see things, but I'm going to focus on one molecule, and I bet you have heard of it, acetaminophen or Tylenol. So let's look at acetaminophen through the lens of pharmaceutical sciences, the foundation of your major. Acetaminophen or paracetamol is a white crystalline powder with no scent at all. It doesn't smell. If you were to taste it, it would be bitter, not very nice. It has a pH of about 6, but it actually is a weak base from a pharmaceutical sciences perspective. This is something you will learn. This is good to know because this trait tells us where acetaminophen likes to be absorbed in your body. Crazy, huh? It likes to be absorbed in the small intestine instead of the stomach. That might be a myth buster. So this may be news, and that's great because it's good to know this because you can find acetaminophen in so many convenient forms, pharmaceutical formulations such as tablets, capsules, even injectable forms of acetaminophen. So I'm going to let Dr. Valancourt take over the next few slides through the lens on this molecule, and I'll pick up later.
Welcome. And so as Dr. Schnellman just illustrated, in the previous slide, the pharmaceuticals, the physical matter of a compound would be studied in our pharmaceutics course. This is a very unique aspect of the program because many BSPS programs, actually most, do not have such a course. In what the slide you're seeing now, another area that the students learn in the BSPS program is in a course called medicinal chemistry, where they're focusing on the actual atoms of a molecule. Students can be somewhat intimidated by this, but it really illustrates the molecular basis of what is really happening when medications are having their effect. So for example, in the structure of acetaminophen shown here, that molecule way on the right there, that hydroxyl group, that turns out to be a very important functional group for drug metabolism, okay? And so, so knowing these things becomes very useful in the design of new drugs. So on the next slide, you'll see that what happens now in the metabolism of acetaminophen, we lose certain parts. So that left part there, we're losing certain parts of the molecule and we end up with an active molecule. These are things that have to be learned by scientists. These are not things that we know a priori. A priori mean without any evidence. We have to study these things. And so now we know what the active molecule looks like. And so then now we start looking at the next slide, please. The trying to understand how these molecules work. And this kind of subject matter would be covered in the pharmacology course that I happen to teach. And so what we learn is that there are certain enzymes in cells that are targeted by acetaminophen. You can see here towards the lower part of the slide on the right, acetaminophen works on a certain enzyme. And similarly, there's a class of drugs or medications, NSAIDs, that are also work in this pathway to affect the pain and fever responses that are associated with illnesses. And so we understand these processes through the study of pharmacology. And so students will be exposed to that subject matter in my course in pharmacology. And then on the next slide, Another aspect of pharmacology that we talk about is ADME, which refers to the absorption, the distribution, the metabolism, and the excretion of drugs. And so you can see at the top there, there's a structure of acetaminophen. And it turns out that that hydroxyl group that I was talking about earlier is an important target for metabolism that allows us to eliminate metabolites of acetaminophen after they've had their effect through the urine. This is very important because on the upper right, there's a very unique reaction that happens with acetaminophen. And this is through a family of enzymes called cytochrome P450. And what it does is it creates a reactive intermediate. This pathway is a classic pathway that we use to illustrate all sorts of mechanisms in toxicology. And students will be exposed to this in the toxicology course that I'm currently teaching right now. And what will happen here is that the toxicology or the reactive intermediate could actually be made worse if an individual were to be consuming ethanol. So again, trying to remind people that taking medications with other things, in this case ethanol, could be harmful. Okay, and then what we learn on the next slide, or what we have learned, is that it turns out that acetaminophen is responsible for a huge number of liver toxicities. It's amazing. Most people these days would argue that if acetaminophen were to go through the FDA regulatory process, it would fail. It would actually not be on the market today. But it's an amazing painkiller if used at the proper dose. But the pathology that you can see, this is a human liver, and you can see that does not look very healthy. And that is literally due to toxicity associated with acetaminophen. And it would not be unusual in extreme cases for patients to require a liver transplant to overcome this pathology. So these are the kinds of things that the students are learning. And we're just using acetaminophen as one example where we highlight it through many of our courses in the BSPS program. So I'll turn it back over to Dr. Schnellman.
I hope that was exciting, seeing all of that cool pharmacology and toxicology that Dr. Valancourt is an expert in. And everything he said to you is so important that we actually label legally acetaminophen in honor of this toxicology that we know. And we have even limited how much acetaminophen you can get in a unit dose. And this package is an example of that limitation. And something Dr. Valancourt and I were talking about casually last week, because it's so much fun to talk about this. He said, hey, Jennifer, did you remember that acetaminophen is in a lot of over-the-counter and prescription opioid products? And sometimes people don't know that they're doubling up when they take multiple medications. So with that wisdom, I had to add some of that expertise in here too. And then as I'm moving through the major, we do offer scientific writing. And did you know with this type of skill, you can communicate the information that Dr. Valancourt shared with other experts such as him, or your patients who need to know this type of information. But that's not all we offer. As Rebecca reminded me last week, we have a bevy of courses that complement all of this to make you an expert in medicine, pharmacy, and science. That concludes what I have to say, and I'll turn it back over to the people who are guiding your open house.
Wonderful. Let's get back to the main. Can you stop sharing so we can go on to the next
betcha.
slides?
You betcha. Let me turn that off.
Thank you. This is so amazing. I've learned a lot today.
Okay, I've tried to turn it off. I'm not certain that I did. Got it.
There we go. Thank you. All right, Jeff, let's put up the other slides.
Working on it.
Thank you. So we are getting ready to jump into our Doctor of Pharmacy program. So we're going to get the slides up super quick. Or actually, no, go ahead and put them up and then we'll introduce our individuals who will be presenting. And I believe we're going to need to share screen with Dr. Fazal. Or I'll give her sharing capabilities. There we go. So let me go ahead and introduce Dr. Fazal. Let me read her screen here. So she is the Associate Clinical Professor for Pharmacy and Practice and Science. And she will talk to you all about our Doctor Pharmacy program.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well? Yes. Well, I'm really excited to be here and just tell you about all the great things we do at the college and what we prepare you for. So our goal is to train competent, amazing leaders and pharmacists. So I'm going to tell you how we do that. So first, I wanted to tell you, I'm sure you all know, what do pharmacists do? What do we want to prepare you for? So pharmacists do a lot of different things. You have your community pharmacists that answer your questions when your family member is ill, you need some over the counter, fill your prescriptions, make sure that they give you the right dose and right medication for your indication and tell you about it. They also work in various clinics, different chronic disease managements. We have Dr. Lee, our amazing Dr. Jeannie Lee, that does geriatrics. I do endocrine diabetes. We have Dr. Edwards that works in the emergency department. So we do a lot of that as well, or in the hospitals, in your acute care settings, in outpatient like clinic settings you go to. They do research, as you see that Dr. Schnellman talked about that as well, and compounding, make the medications. So overall, we do a lot of things, and we teach the future pharmacists. We do a lot of things, we work, and this is not even all of it. It's a lot. But the most important thing is that we take care of the patients as an individual and as basically contributing to our public health. And during COVID, pharmacists, if there were no pharmacists to provide vaccinations, we wouldn't have been this successful in vaccinating so many people. Basically, we are a member of the healthcare team, and we work with the healthcare team to take care of the patients. So for us to be able to do that, we need to be able to do this pharmacist patient care process, which is probably every healthcare professional's patient care process. Collecting information, assessing it, making a plan, implementing that plan, following up, changing the plan if it needs to be, working with the rest of the team, healthcare team, including the patient. So we know that we are taking care of the patient. So what we do here at the College of Pharmacy for you to be able to do this, I remember during orientation for the pharmacy school, which I was lucky enough to go to the University of Arizona College of Pharmacy. And I remember that I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to remember all these? How am I going to learn all these? Well, we will help you do that. So actually, I wanted to show you this. So we want to help you what you need to collect, why you need to collect it, how you're going to use it. And to do that, you need to, let's go here. I always kind of debate with myself if I want to show this, because everybody gets worried. Don't worry, we help you through it. But as you see, we have basic science to prepare you to learn the background about the disease states, about the medications, about the pathophysiology of it, and then how to put it together to application in therapeutics. And you see from research, from any aspect that you would be working, we prepare you for. What I love about our curriculum is that we are firm believer of continuous improvement, and amount of changes we make sometimes I think Miss Collins is like, okay, let's not move those, but we do make changes to make things better. So we assess what we're doing. We just actually had a process that became policy of how are we going to look at these? We look at various areas to be able to assess. We also want to keep up with what's happening in the world, not that saying, okay, well, 30 years ago, we were teaching this way. This is what we're going to continue doing. So our college is probably one of the only colleges that provide this for free to the students. We have basically an educational electronic health record that you can basically practice how you find information about the patient. In addition to that, we have created, these are just in past couple of years, we have created pharmacy informatics elective, pharmaceutical industry, leadership, journal club, scholarship of teaching and learning electives, and we continuously work on how we can make our students better and also be better pharmacists and being also the pharmacists that people want to hire. Speaking of getting hired, so we want to prepare you for opportunities that are in our community, in our society, and there is a lot of those. So as I mentioned, pharmacists, they can do a lot of things. There are so many areas a pharmacist can work that is just amazing. And it doesn't, you're not even stuck in one. Let's say you worked in one for a few years and you say, well, I want to try something else. So this is actually part of a survey we provide to our students, and that's again one of our innovations. And they look at basically they pick what they think they're interested in, and they talk to their mentors about those, so we can actually put you in contact with somebody that can help you reach your goals. And also the beauty of it is we are in Tucson, so that's another thing. So if there's any questions, if not, I'm gonna stop sharing, and hopefully I didn't go over. No, I didn't. I talked really fast, so I have time to answer questions.
Indeed, if there are any questions for Dr. Fasal, please do ask. We do have a little bit of time. We're doing great time. So please do ask any questions that you have. If there's anything else that you'd like to add, Dr. Fasal, please do.
I actually would like to add, so in terms of different areas of pharmacy and to practice, I myself, I have worked at Fry's for many years as in a community pharmacy, and I loved it because people could pick up their phone and ask their questions, and I could help them. The most accessible pharmacist. I have done residency at the VA here in Tucson, and I have been in acute care setting, in ambulatory or outpatient clinic setting. Now I work in clinic setting and academia. So just these are the things you can explore. And I tell you that every day I just say, I'm so thankful I am where I am and I do what I do. And I think there was a question. What does lab work look like for PharmD student? So if you are, and if anybody else is here that wants to add to, if you're talking about laboratory, like basic science bench top work, we actually have, you can work with faculty that we have in that department that they do, and I think that Dr. Lee is adding information to that they do lab work, and you can work in those labs. So we have also the survey that I showed you that you pick and you tell your mentor what you're interested in. We also have another survey. If you're interested in labs, we put you in contact with our faculty that are in department, because we have amazing scientists here that do that kind of research. And we have students that do, and one of the students actually I work with closely in curriculum committee works in Dr. Valancourt's lab. So we have those opportunities to see what is a good fit for you. I hope that I answered your question, Caitlin.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, of course.
We still have a couple more minutes. Anybody else have a question for Dr. Fazal?
I just put in the chat the handout on 100+ pharmacy careers. So there are lots of different careers you can choose from. And then the electronic brochure, digital brochure for pharmacy for me. If you go to their website, you can actually take a quick quiz, and it tells you what areas of pharmacy might be suitable for you, your personality, your preferences. So those are just references for you. And I know that you guys might be thinking about basic science labs, but those of us who do patient-oriented research, so I don't have a research lab, but I have a research office, and we have around 10 students, PharmD students, who are working with me on my patient care research, which is a randomized control trial. So many options for you to be exposed to research here at the college.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. And to add to what Dr. Lee said, sometimes when you start, you think you are interested in something, and then you become interested in something else. And we have faculty in different areas. We work very closely with pharmacists at Banner and different places, and our alumni. Sorry, I forgot to turn this on. And our alumni are available, so we can always provide a lot of information from shadowing to rotations. We all want to teach and help, so it's just a great place to learn and advance.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all that amazing information, Dr. Fazal and Dr. Jeannie or Dr. Lee for diving in and adding some additional information. So now we're going to go ahead and share our screen again to introduce our next speaker, which is testimony, right, of our amazing faculty who have gone through the Doctor of Pharmacy program, not necessarily ours, maybe one or two actually that are speaking today. So first we have Dr. Christopher Edwards. He's an assistant clinical professor here at the Art Kent Coit College of Pharmacy. And I believe we need to give sharing privileges that we haven't yet to him so he can move on and tell us all about his journey as now a Doctor of Pharmacy and working here at the Art Kent Coit College of Pharmacy.
Absolutely. Happy to be here and happy to chat with you all today about sort of my journey through pharmacy. I've got 3.5 minutes to talk about a 20-year process, but I'm going to do my best to get through as much as I can, because I think that as you're considering pharmacy as a career, I think that one way to sort of get an idea of all the different options that are out there are to hear stories of people who have lived it. And I have. I'll put a couple disclaimers on here in addition to being a little short on time, so I'm going to talk fast. Results aren't typical, and I can't guarantee that you will follow the same trajectory that I did. I got very, very lucky with my career, but I'm very happy with how things have turned out. So I started out, unfortunately, not at the University of Arizona College of Pharmacy, although had I known how great it was, I probably would have come here. But I went to another great College of Pharmacy at the University of Illinois, Chicago. I grew up in Chicago. And so it was a natural fit for me. And when I first entered pharmacy school, I sort of was en route to work in a community pharmacy. That's sort of what I envisioned. That's what my familiarity with pharmacy practice was. Working in a community pharmacy, handing medications to patients, doing some counseling. And then while I was in pharmacy school, I had the opportunity to volunteer at a free health clinic on Chicago's West Side. And at this clinic, I had the opportunity to work closely with medical students and physicians who were seeing underserved patients who really needed our care. And as a pharmacy student, I was able to make recommendations about the care of these patients to make sure that we were utilizing the limited medications that we had in order to achieve the best possible outcomes for these folks. This is where I really fell in love with clinical pharmacy practice, right? Interdisciplinary care. And after doing hundreds of hours of volunteering at this clinic and completing my PharmD program, I decided that I wanted to do a residency. And we've mentioned the term residency a few times. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, once you complete the PharmD program, you can choose to go forward and do postgraduate training to learn how to be a really excellent clinical pharmacist. And that is typically a residency program. Residency is where I found out about the University of Arizona, and I was fortunate enough to end up here for my residency training. I worked primarily at Banner University Medical Center, Tucson, and then learned some of the academic aspects of pharmacy practice at the College of Pharmacy. I then chose to do a second year specialty residency to specialize in emergency medicine. And emergency medicine was a perfect fit for me. As soon as I finished residency, I basically spent, well, even during residency, I spent all my time in the emergency department. I love it there. It's my home away from home. Got the best doctors and nurses, RTs, paramedics, anybody could ask for. Just a great group of folks to work with. This also provided me with a lot of opportunities to teach both didactically and at the bedside. And I developed good relationships with the College of Pharmacy and the College of Emergency Medicine. After practicing for several years, I ended up working, I now work at the College of Pharmacy as a clinical assistant professor. I've also had a number of great opportunities at the local level to work with various organizations to lend my pharmacy knowledge to help improve patient care that's being provided by fire departments locally, to help educate the trauma providers on, how to appropriately utilize the medications that they have in their toolkits. I work closely with the Arizona Poison and Drug Information Center. I work with the Arizona Emergency Medicine Research Center. Again, just by having that pharmacy expertise, I can lend that my experience as a medication expert to a lot of non-pharmacists and help them better understand the meds that they're using. I've also had a lot of great opportunities to get involved with national pharmacy organizations, which I would highly recommend. So I've been very involved with ASHP throughout my career. Also had the opportunity to work with the Board of Pharmacy Specialists lately in the creation of a specialty certification for emergency medicine pharmacists. There are a number of board certifications available for pharmacists, including board certification as a pharmacotherapy specialist, board certification as an oncology specialist, soon to be emergency medicine specialist, critical care, infectious diseases, and so on and so forth. These are typically available to people who work in that practice area and want to show their expertise to the people who the patients they're working with and the providers that they're working with in order to show that they know what they're talking about. All right, I think I'm just about at time, but I'm more than happy to entertain any questions that you have. And then just a quick plug for the University of Arizona College of Pharmacy or Arkanquay College of Pharmacy podcast, known as PharmCast. Episode 2 talks about acetaminophen, so a nice little plug there, tie into our previous discussion. Interesting case of a bunch of murders that happened in the early 80s that involved Tylenol. So check it out if you're interested. You can get it anywhere you can download podcasts. So thank you for your time. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you so much for your amazing presentation, Dr. Edwards. And now we're going to go ahead and bring back these slides so we can introduce our next speaker, who happens to be an alum of ours. And this is Dr. Nicole Henry. She is an instructor of pharmacy practice and science, and so many other things that she'll tell you all about. And take it away, Dr. Henry.
Yes, super excited to be here with all of you. I do have a couple of slides, so I'm going to go ahead and share if that's okay. All right, perfect. One moment. All right, can you see my slides? All right, perfect. So super excited to be here with you all today. I am going to start out, I only have a couple minutes, to go through my quick bio, but I did want to start out with a little bit of a sad story, kind of why I went into pharmacy. So early on in high school, I was debating, pharmacy medicine. We kind of do this pretty frequently. And I was thinking, I'm leaning more towards pharmacy, but I'm not sure. So I actually had a family friend who passed away from a med error. For those of you who may not know, warfarin. Warfarin can be a very dangerous drug because it's a blood thinner and it can increase risk of bleeding in especially our elderly patients. Well, my family friend was a bit older in his 50s, and he actually experienced a fall in a nursing home when he was on warfarin and amiodarone. So again, for those of you that don't know pre-pharmacy, soon you will know, very dangerous combination. So unfortunately, he had a fatal brain bleed and he passed away on that drug combination. And I asked his family some questions, was he counseled in the pharmacy? Did he know what an INR was? Was he having that blood monitoring that he needed? And unfortunately, he wasn't. So this patient got missed. And I promised myself, I said, I'm going to go to pharmacy and I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to make sure that there's actually no patient left behind. We're not going to let anybody get missed. And we're here to counsel them. We're here to provide them with that information because I don't want anyone to go through what I went through with my family friend. So anyway, kind of a sad story, but that inspired me to go into pharmacy. And it inspired me to really focus on geriatric care. So for my very first year in pharmacy school, I partnered with Dr. Jeannie Lee, who is on the call, to form the ASCP Consultant Pharmacy chapter on the College of Pharmacy campus. So ASCP is the American Society of Consultant Pharmacists, and we do medication reviews for older adults over the age of 65 to make sure that they don't have any of those drug interactions in their profile. So you can see here on the left-hand side, there's a picture of our student chapter and one of the bake sale fundraisers that we had going. Super proud to say that the chapter is still in existence today at the College of Pharmacy, and we're still working with St. Luke's Home, the older adult facility that we go to do those med reviews. And all the fundraisers that we have are actually to give back to St. Luke's Home. So we do some fun events like sock hops and, try to get the seniors active. And we're also there to answer the questions that the seniors have about their medications. And really the most impactful thing that happened to me was when I was at St. Luke's Home. One lady raised her hand and said, can I tell you something? I said, sure. What do you want to tell me? And she said, you've really empowered me to ask questions of my doctor. And now I know about the medications that I'm taking. And I feel a lot better knowing that I can ask those questions. So it was really impactful for me because I didn't realize that patients were embarrassed to ask those types of questions. So we continued those clinics at St. Luke's Home to help that patient population. And I loved it throughout pharmacy school. So then I graduated down below here. You can see my picture, and I started out at CVS. So I've been with CVS for 8 years, and I've done all sorts of different roles with them. I fell in love with community pharmacy because that's really the pharmacy experience where you have that patient right in front of you and you can provide that counseling to them right there in the moment. So graduated in 2017, been with CVS for 8 years. I've had every role. I was an intern, a staff pharmacist, pharmacy manager, district leader, emerging leader. Here you can see a picture of one of the COVAX clinics I was leading. At one point in time, I had a team of 100 that I was training, and we did 350 clinics across the state of Arizona. We rented planes, we got the vaccine to people. It was a crazy, insane project, but we really made a difference in the life of those patients. And that's what I truly loved. On the right-hand side, you can see at the top, me doing some corporate store visits, out there in the field with our regional managers. That was pretty exciting. And below that, you can see the health fairs. So in my free time on the weekends, we typically have some health fairs in the community, and I am in charge of the health fairs for the Phoenix campus, along with the students who run that. And we typically do med reviews, A1Cs, cardio check, analyzers to see about patients' cholesterol. And it's really fun and impactful to make a difference in the community. So I absolutely love that. And then here on the second slide, you can see my two passions. So I'm very, very passionate about talent development. If you're on this call today, know that you can do it. So if you're questioning your ability to go into pharmacy or pharmacy school and you're thinking, gee, that was a lot, I don't know if I can do that. Trust me, you can. And we are here 100% to support you. So what I love is seeing pharmacy technicians go on to pharmacy school and become pharmacists. That is my favorite thing to see that happen. And I love mentoring those technicians and the students as well. And my second favorite thing is protecting our patients. So with CVS Corporate, I'm on a patient safety roundtable where we constantly are assessing different types of patient safety interventions we can do. And I love giving immunizations to protect our patients in the community. So you can see here, we got our Stomp the Box challenge. And we stomped the box because we did 10 flu shots, which is awesome. So that's 10 more protected patients. And excited to see all of you out in the community helping our patients as well. And I provided my email as well on the slide. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Henry. We so much appreciate all that you do. Amazing work in our college and out in the community. Thank you, thank you. And next we have, bring up the slides again, Jeff, so we can introduce our next amazing presenter, and that's Dr. Cates. He's Professor of Pharmacy Practice and Science, Director of International Programs, and Director of Residency Programs. He's going to be talking to us about international programs. So take it away, Dr. Cates.
Thank you, Luz Maria, and hope everybody's not getting too worn out. I know we're inundating you with a lot of information, but hopefully this has been interesting for you. Could you unshare so I can share my slides? Thank you so much. Now I just have to find the right one with the too many things I have open on my desktop. Well, welcome again, and we're really thrilled to have you here at our open house. And again, hopefully you're getting lots and lots of good information. U of A College of Pharmacy is a great pharmacy school, but there's a lot of really good pharmacy schools out there. And as you start looking at different pharmacy programs, whether it's in Arizona or in other states, one of the things you should be looking at is what makes those schools really stand out, what makes them unique, what provides extra value in, say, University of Arizona that other schools don't necessarily provide. Well, admittedly, I'm a little biased, but I think one of the things that really adds value to our student experience at the Arkin Coit College of Pharmacy are the international opportunities that we provide to our students. So I'm going to be very briefly to tell you a little bit about some of those. And at the last slide will be my email address, and you're more than welcome to contact me if you would like more information. We do have information on our website, so if you're too shy to contact me by email, you can go to under the academic tab on our College of Pharmacy website, and you can certainly see some of the same information I'll give here. This is just a summary of some of the international opportunities we provide our students, and I'll talk about a couple of these in a little bit more detail. We have a summer study abroad program for our students. It was on hiatus, as you might guess, during COVID, but we're going to be back on the road this summer. We have a very active international student pharmacist organization called IPSF, which provides opportunities not only for travel, but also to interact with students, international students who may come here. We do have usually an array of visiting international students, residents, and faculty. And during our fourth year of our curriculum, if you look at our curriculum, that entire last year is all a series of rotations. Most of those are clinical rotations. Each one is 6 weeks in duration. One of the elective rotations that our students can complete is an international rotation where you spend 6 weeks gaining pharmacy practice experience in a different country. Well, I mentioned we have international students coming here, and actually I took this photo just a couple of days ago. These are students from Japan who actually they left this morning to return to Japan. They're from a school called Meijo University, and Dr. Henry met them because she hosted our visit to CVS a couple of days ago. So Dr. Henry, thank you for doing that. And Dr. Lee mentioned the women's basketball team in the chat, and actually I took the students to one of the women's basketball games a few days ago. And they had never been to a basketball game ever, men's or women's, so they really enjoyed that. The summer study abroad program we've been doing for about 10 years. Again, it was on hiatus during COVID, and we've been alternating every other summer between Japan and Thailand. So actually this coming summer, we'll be back on the road and we'll be going back to Japan. I'll be taking 10 students with me for 10 days to experience pharmacy in Japan. And these study abroad trips are a mixture of some pharmacy things, and you can see some experiences at the university that hosts us. We visit some pharmacies, including an herbal pharmacy, actually 2 herbal pharmacies in Japan. Spend a lot of time traveling on trains, which is the main mode of transport, and do a lot of sightseeing, whether it's in Kyoto or Nara, eat lots of great Japanese food. So the students not only get a pharmacy experience, but a great cultural experience as well. That photo in the middle is from Miyajima, which is an island in Hiroshima Bay. And again, every other summer we'll go to Thailand. Again, about a 10-day experience, about half of it pharmacy related, half of it some cultural experiences and sightseeing. So again, we'll spend some time at our host universities, spend time visiting community pharmacies, hospitals, herbal pharmacies as well, and eat lots of amazing food. As I mentioned earlier, we do offer a 6-week elective experience during the last year, the 4th year of our PharmD program. We've been doing this for many, many years. As you might guess, it was on hiatus during COVID, but we now have students back on the road. And we have many countries that our students can choose from. Now, I suppose I could give you a geography quiz after we're done, but if you join our pharmacy program, you'll have plenty of chances to have quizzes and exams, so I won't add to that list. But I think you can get at least a feel for the array of different countries and different parts of the world that our students can experience. This is actually from a Facebook posting from 2 students who went to Thailand. This was actually pre-COVID. And they were in Thailand at Ramathibodi Hospital, which is the university hospital associated with Mahidol University. And it's hard to tell who our students were, so I'll focus on this photo on the bottom left. The 2 women in the middle are our PharmD students. They have since graduated, and the 2 people on the sides are both preceptors. She's an oncology specialist. He's an internal medicine specialist. So that's a very, very brief summary, and I hope this maybe entices you a little bit to maybe ask questions, learn more, and hopefully this will entice you to come to U of A College of Pharmacy, where you can have these amazing experiences. So, Luz Maria, I'll turn it back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that informative presentation, and looking forward to continuing to share about our college. So next, we need to bring up our slides so we can go ahead and introduce who is presenting actually from a recording, our amazing Assistant Professor Elizabeth Hall-Lipsey. She's actually right now celebrating her oldest son's birthday. So this is the reason why she is not with us today in person, but she did record a video for us. So we're going to go ahead and take you on to the next next slide. There we go. And she is going to be talking to us about our Doctor of Pharmacy dual degree program, so our PharmD Forward program. So let's go ahead and have her take it away via video recording.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Hall-Lipsey, and I'm the Assistant Dean of Academic Affairs and Assessment. One of the favorite parts of my role that I have is I get to work with our partners across campus to develop and identify opportunities for dual degree programs. And so one of the questions that I often get from pharmacy students is, why should I consider a dual degree? And I have to be really honest, I have a very selfish and personal example of why I think dual degree are great opportunities. I myself am someone who has basically made my professional career something that relies upon having my dual degrees. I'm both a JD and an MPH, and I was very lucky after leaving law practice to get to work in academia. But on a daily basis in my role, I rely on both of the trainings that I've received as a JD student and as a public health master's student. And so one of the things that I think I most appreciate about having a dual degree is that in times of economic challenges, back in the early 2000s, you may remember the Great Recession, I knew that I wasn't wanting to continue working in law. And you may remember that the economy took a real nosedive. And having the opportunity to have another degree to fall back on as I came to the university to work on coordinating health disparities and rural health initiatives, I was able to rely on having both of those degrees to give myself some greater opportunities. And that's why I think having a dual degree or considering dual degrees can be really valuable for students, because it gives you the opportunity to think about ways that your profession or what you're studying could be complementary to another discipline. And so we've set up dual degree programs with the College of Law, where we have a regulatory science program as well as a health law for health professionals program. And students have the opportunity of pursuing certificates or a master's of legal study degree. We have a dual PharmD MBA degree that we've set up with our Eller College. We have our public health program where students can receive a PharmD and MPH. And we also have the very unique opportunity for students to earn both their PharmD and their Doctor of Nurse Practitioner degree. And so these just give students the opportunities to find those places where you can bridge between two professions and two courses of study and find a lot of personal satisfaction in that. Now, all of these dual degree programs tend to have different requirements for entry and slightly different timelines for completing each degree. As well, there are often some differences in tuition and the expenses. One of the things that we work very hard to do is to find opportunities for scholarships for students who pursue these dual degree opportunities, because typically students must pay tuition for both programs. The admissions process and timeline for applying to dual degrees can vary. It is definitely something that you want to start considering as you're applying to the PharmD program. And even some programs can be helpful to start thinking about when you're in a bachelor setting, just to make sure that you have some of the requirements. There are specific requirements for admission and criteria. For some of our programs, they are open. Dual degree programs are open to students who attend the PharmD program without a bachelor's degree, but due to accreditation standards, some degrees do require a bachelor's program. And in most cases, we have worked as hard as we can to identify ways that we can find the synergies and overlaps within the curricula for both of these programs, so that students can often finish these degrees in a much quicker process than they could if they took each of these programs sequentially. So in some instances, you'll take some courses that are associated with the dual degree program within your didactic PharmD curriculum. In many instances, we've looked at ways that we can identify classes that can cross count, but all of the graduate programs have to take place when the student is in their pharmacy curriculum. If there are any additional questions, I'm always happy to meet with students, whether in person or on Zoom, or to answer any questions. And for the most part, with the exception of our MBA program, there are no GPA requirements, and there are few requirements for entrance exams. The MBA program, as well as our nursing programs, will require a standardized exam as part of the acceptance process. I'm really excited to get to meet any people who have additional questions about dual degree programs, and I can always be contacted at my email address, ehall05@arizona.edu. Thank you for your time today.
Well, hello, students and prospective students and current students. Welcome back. Prospective students, did you get all your questions answered? Or for the most part, maybe? Well, we're going to move forward and continue with the program. We're almost at the end. We thank you so much for staying with us, and hope that you enjoyed that Q&A session with the current students to answer all your questions, or as many as you all had. You actually had more time than we usually give for the Q&A session, since we were a little ahead with the overall presentation. So now I want to just share a little bit more about our college and who we are and how we fulfill our purpose. So as you see here on our slide, it says our mission is to improve the health and well-being of our individuals in diverse and global communities by educating the next generation of leaders, professionals, and innovators in pharmaceutical sciences and pharmacy, generating new knowledge and innovative solutions to optimize health and patient outcomes. Next slide. And I also want to talk about why U of A, why the Art Ken Coit College of Pharmacy. Well, as had stated more than 2 to 3 times earlier, we are ranked number 5 in the US for colleges of pharmacy out of 142. We have amazing faculty that you heard from today. And within that faculty, we also can talk about alumni success, of which we have 2 who attended with us today and participated in our event. We have our amazing Dr. Nicole Henry, who you heard from earlier today. And then our associate dean from our Phoenix campus is also our amazing alum. Their journey and trajectory and where they are today, you know, they can say that we, the College of Pharmacy, have prepared them to be where they're at today and come back and give back to future pharmacists and educators, and you know, provide better outcomes to the world and our community. So I wanted to let you know that we are super excited and thankful that you're here today. And you know, I don't know if maybe Dr. Henry and Dr. Alvarez want to share a little bit more about themselves. And since we have a little bit of time, you know, we have alumni here. Oh my gosh, it's super exciting. And they stayed to be able to maybe, you know, to be acknowledged as our successful products of this college.
Thank you, Luz Maria. Well, my experience at this college has been honestly exceptional, and that's why I wanted to come back and teach and kind of give back to the community. I mean, it was such a great, fun experience. I got to actually travel to Thailand and give a presentation, and Dr. Cates had helped me be able to get that opportunity. So there's so many different opportunities that you can seize at the College of Pharmacy. You can travel, go to conferences, you can network, you can give presentations, you can get research opportunities. I mean, really, the opportunities are endless. As long as you raise your hand and say, I want to help, you know, we're here to support you, and make sure that you get to where you want to go. Did anybody have any questions for me at all? Anything I can answer? If there's no questions, I mean, best of luck through the application process. I know you can do it. You know, we're here cheering you on and excited to see you as a P1, hopefully, next year. I do teach the P1s, the 809 class, which is the Intro to Pharmacy Practice. And I also have some guest lectures as well. I'll hand it over to Dr. Alvarez.
All right, thanks, Dr. Henry. So what I would say very briefly is that I have had a wonderful career. I like to say that I'm in the fall season of my career. I had a great spring, great summer. I'm well prepared for many different practices. I've worked in the community setting. I've worked and helped patients at the end of life and making sure that their pain and other symptoms were relieved, and I've helped colleagues, nurses and physicians make decisions around what kinds of medications to use. I worked in the pharmaceutical industry because I had knowledge about how to take care of patients in pain, and did that for a while. And now I'm at a school of pharmacy. Previous to this, I helped to open a school of pharmacy. I never dreamed that I would be back at the U of A employed. And so I would say to you that, you know, I've had a lot of opportunities, and it's because I got a really great training, had really great training from the U of A. So grateful. At the time, there wasn't a campus in Phoenix, so I left my family and went to Tucson. I'm a first generation college graduate as well. And so I feel very prideful in that aspect. So invite you to apply. Hope you can join us and be part of the PharmCap family, and have a great evening.
So much for that extra testimony, right, of our amazing faculty and alumni. I'm absolutely so proud to know them and work alongside them, you know, recruiting our amazing future students. So thank you all so much for joining us today. Next, we have some opportunities. Actually, this here that you see this slide is we have a wonderful event coming up here at our college on Tuesday, March 14th. There's to hear more from more of our faculty, for more even other professionals at this Pharm Talk. And I don't know a heck of a lot too much about this, but maybe Dr. Lee can jump in and explain a little bit more what this event is all about on March 14th?
Sure, you've already heard from Dr. Edwards, but you can also hear from Dr. Cornelison, who is in ambulatory care practice and advanced practice in pharmacy. And we have a brand new center for longevity and neurotherapeutics. So it's center related to aging and drug discovery within aging world and new neurodegenerative diseases. And we have a couple of professors within that program who will be speaking, as well as Dr. Dudley, who is at the Arizona Poison and Drug Information Center. He's also our alum. He can tell you, he's going to tell you all about cannabis in the community. So this is a free event to the public, and students are invited. There will be food, so please come and join us. You do have to register, please, so we can get enough food. Thank you. We have 1 minute, so we're right on time. We thank you for joining us. Prospective students, prospective farm cats. I've been firing lots of information into the chat. I'm not sure that you were able to gather all of them. And I know when we go to breakout rooms and come back, the chat just goes away. And so if you have any more questions for any of us, please don't hesitate to contact Luz Maria, and she'll be able to connect you to the right person with the answers. And I do want to thank our faculty members, our current students, our staff members who have joined us and stayed through the open house today. Thank you all so very much. And of course, huge special thank you to Luz Maria and Jeff for coordinating this event. Have a great evening and good night, everyone.